Hey everyone, it's Blake. Welcome in to episode number 3 of our AEW 2022 series in TEW 2020. This is Dynamite for week 2 and Wednesday. Just as a quick note, we're only doing Dynamite in this episode. My schedule's kind of all over the place this week, but I wanted to get you guys an episode out. So we're just going to do a Dynamite on this episode, but what we are going to do, we're going to pair Rampage on the next episode with a look at what I have in mind to do with the whole developmental situation with AEW and kind of trying to shuffle around this very large roster. So we will kind of combine those two together. So that'll be a little bit bigger of an episode rather than just doing a Rampage on its own. We will look at Rampage on the next episode, and we'll kind of look at some decisions on doing the whole developmental and just how we're going to kind of shuffle this roster around. So keep that in mind here. Most episodes will be Dynamite and Rampage. This one, for time purposes, just going to be Dynamite, so I can kind of get you guys an episode out there. So let's start off here with the pre-show. It is Ruby Soho getting the win over the Bunny. 6:38 on this one, 58, so not a bad match here between these two. You'll kind of see, again, given that we only have 3 hours of television time each week, we're going to have to filter some people in and out. And some of the people that don't have storylines right now, they'll be using some of these pre-show matches and just some other different type of things. So Ruby Soho, want to keep her in the rotation, although there's not exactly a story set for her at this very moment. But we give her a win here over the Bunny. Now, let's get to the start of the main episode, which is an update on our AEW World Champion, CM Punk, who officially arrives at the building. We see this from earlier in the day, and it is Tony Schiavone catching up with CM Punk, wanting an update on him, and immediately it is very visible. Punk is stitched up on his head where he was blasted, seemingly, with the AEW World Championship last week on Dynamite. The lights go out. He gets attacked. He's busted wide open. Blood running down the belt. And Tony Schiavone clearly seeing that on CM Punk's head there. Schiavone wants an update. Punk says he's fine. He is perfectly fine. He cannot wrestle tonight under the doctor's orders, but that doesn't mean he can't go out to the ring and officially call out who he thinks attacked him last week on Dynamite. So seemingly CM Punk has an idea of who he thinks it is, and he says he's going to walk out to that ring tonight. He's not scared. Anyone else wants to come out, attack him again, go right ahead, but he's going to call out who he thinks attacked him last week. So a great start to the show here, 88 overall. Everything going well with Punk, and even though Tony Schiavone performed poorly here, he has the freedom going off script, so everything worked out well here. 88 for this one. And we're going to start with a big match here, and it does pretty well, 77, between Bryan Danielson and Bobby Fish. Danielson gets the win, 14:38. The cattle mutilation does it. Just unbelievable, 91 here for Bryan Danielson. We did debut a gimmick for William Regal as the Born Leader. Very good on that, so he's obviously managing Bryan Danielson here as part of the Blackpool Combat Club. Gets a 77. Remember, we have talked about it with this, how it's set. We have to have 3 different match aims that are just outside of your usual, kind of generic ones, like work the crowd, calm the crowd, all that. We've got to have a lot of these different ones. So that's when I put these matches together, I'm like, okay, Bryan Danielson versus who to give us a technical match aim? And obviously, I thought Bobby Fish was a good choice for that. And it's going to play into one of the storylines we have going on. But yeah, these two delivered as I would think they would. So a good match here between these two. Nice way to start the show, 77 match-wise. And then, right afterwards, it is William Regal taking the microphone and saying, he wants to make it clear the Blackpool Combat Club had nothing to do with CM Punk's attack last week. Regal says he's always been very upfront. He wants to put that out there. But, he says, the Blackpool Combat Club backs down from no one, and they're always looking for a fight. So, if you are the person who attacked CM Punk and you want to come have a fight, come do it with the Blackpool Combat Club. So it's really just Regal hyping up this sort of, fight club nature of his group here and saying, we don't care who it is. We're not going to attack someone, under shady circumstances like it happened with Punk. We'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. So this is a good promo here from Regal. 68, good job here. Even Wheeler Yuta gets in on the action, does well here in this segment. So nice stuff here from the Blackpool Combat Club. And then another match, Orange Cassidy is back, and he gets the win over QT Marshall, 739. That's a super kick. Cassidy getting some benefits here. That's good to know. The hot new move, the groundswell of public support. This match, as you'll see, pretty much just to serve. It's a means to an end of where we're going with something in particular. But still, a 65. We'll take that. OC, I mean, he's just, come on. Orange he's over. So anything we put him in, he's getting these benefits. So that's good there. Unfortunately for Orange, no one cares about his overness, especially one person in particular, and that is this man, Miro, who comes out, and Orange Cassidy and Trent, of course, ringside with Orange, and Miro comes in just on a tear and completely destroys Orange Cassidy and Trent after the match, throws them both out of the ring, and Miro grabs a mic and says he is tired of sitting around watching all of this nonsense with Orange Cassidy. He's tired of sitting around, period. He wants a real fight. And he says that, he's here for a fight. He's not here to sit in the back and not be put on these shows. He wants a fight. So this is just Miro kind of flexing his strength here. Orange Cassidy happened to be on the receiving end of that. And as you'll see in the coming weeks and months, we do have some big plans in place for Miro. But for now, this is Miro saying, I'm tired of just sitting. I want to beat someone up. I want to destroy someone. I am the Redeemer, and he's coming for everyone in his path. So 65 here. Good stuff. Miro on the attack. And then we get a video package looking at the history between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. Of course, you remember last week, it was Britt Baker saying that she wanted her title back from Thunder Rosa after winning, the Owen Hart Women's Cup there. She feels like she's earned a shot. Thunder Rosa responded on Rampage and said she can come get it because she's the champion, and if Baker wants her title back, she'll have to take it from her. So just a video package kind of looking at the events of all this. We don't have anything official set between these two, but this is just kind of a package looking at what's been going on between these two, over the past year or more now in AEW. So 69, nice segment here between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, a nice video package. And that's going to lead us into a match, which is Britt Baker getting the win over Red Velvet, 701. So 65, really, we're getting solid ratings here. Remember, in comparison to the overness and the popularity of AEW, we're getting some really good ratings. So we're definitely going to improve our popularity, I would say, coming out of this show, unless something just completely flops later on. But Baker, nice performance here, 70, and this just gives her a win here on this one. Jamie Hayter was in action last week, Baker in action this week. Britt Baker just gets a win, and we'll continue to follow up on the whole situation with her wanting the AEW title back, the women's title. And Excalibur messes us up here. We go back down to a 50. But it's okay because Excalibur officially announces that next week on Dynamite, we're going to have a championship match, and that is going to be Jade Cargill defending the TBS title against Athena, the recently debuting Athena. That's official. It's set one-on-one for the TBS championship. So that's a big match added for next week with these two going up against each other. Athena debuts her Rebel gimmick and just initially gets an awful rating, so that's good to know. Not ideal there for Athena. But Stokely Hathaway, of course, we did pair him with Jade. Loudmouth manager went with that gimmick, gets adequate, so that's fine. But Athena's gimmick, a little bit more worrisome. We'll have to work around that for that one. So 50, not much to note here, but we do have a title match set for next week on Dynamite. And then we get a promo backstage from Eddie Kingston, who will be in action on Rampage. He will go one-on-one with Daniel Garcia. And Eddie Kingston just cutting, an Eddie. I can't even cut an Eddie Kingston promo. Like, I'm nowhere near as good as this guy. So Eddie Kingston just basically talking up himself and talking about how he's going to basically just beat down Daniel Garcia on Rampage and how he's still coming for Chris Jericho and everybody else in the Jericho Appreciation Society. So nice promo here from Kingston, 70 overall. And we respond to that with Chris Jericho saying that the Jericho Appreciation Society will end Eddie Kingston on Rampage. So Jericho just kind of hyping up Garcia here. Obviously, we did that because Garcia nowhere near on the mic what Jericho is, and of course as the leader of the stable, that's what we can do. We can use Jericho in these sort of spots rather than just, always having to use these guys on their own. So that's a good benefit to have, and that's why I like some of these factions in AEW. Obviously, we won't be able to use everyone equally, but I like having some of these factions and stuff because you can, have someone like Jericho speaking for some of these other younger guys that are on their way up. So it works out well. So 61 here on this one. Garcia also benefiting from being the flavor of the month. That helps too. So Garcia versus Kingston on Rampage. And Keith Lee, in a very short match, gets the win over Aaron Solo, 5:27. This was essentially your squash match of the evening, as Lee just kind of does his thing. I wonder if we got, so we get the bonus for the well-executed squash. I kind of figured that. So all bonuses across the board here with this one. That's, we kept it at 5 minutes. We wanted it to be sort of that squash-type match. So he gets a 65, works out well. Aaron Solo does his work here. Bravo. We appreciate the nice squash. But Keith Lee gets the win in this one. And then it is a special sit-down interview. So we go to a package here, as it is Jim Ross sitting down with Wardlow, who, as we learned on last week's Dynamite, will officially get a shot at the TNT Championship at Road Rager. He will take on Scorpio Sky. And Wardlow explains, his goal to win the TNT title ever since he came here, from the start. He saw, the different reigns of the TNT Championship. He saw Cody Rhodes. He saw the late Brody Lee. He saw these guys who really valued the TNT title, and he's never had the gold. But he has sit back and realized that the gold is only, being devalued more and more. The longer it's on Scorpio Sky, the more it was on Sammy Guevara. Wardlow wants to bring this prestige back to the TNT title, and that is what he's going to do when he obliterates Scorpio Sky at Road Rager. So a nice promo here from Wardlow, just kind of, your typical babyface, making his goals clear at what winning the title would mean to him, and that's what we do here with Wardlow. So nice job here. 60 overall for Wardlow. And then we go backstage, and it is Adam Cole, who wants the Super Elite to be super again. He wants them to get back to where they all know they can be. Of course, everyone's kind of coming off of some bumps in the road. Looking at the Young Bucks losing to the Hardys at Double or Nothing. Bobby Fish just lost his match against Bryan Danielson. He wants everybody to get back to where everyone's winning again. He points out that he is the Owen Hart Cup winner. He also points out that Kyle O'Reilly beat Darby Allin. Those two right now are kind of carrying the load. He said he wants everybody to get back to being super elite. And, the Young Bucks kind of give him a look here, wondering, okay, hold on a second here, pal. And so Cole just kind of talking, his confidence is at an all-time high after winning this Owen Hart Cup. And as he said, last week on Rampage, he has something to prove, and he says he's going to go out and prove it here. And he's going to do it next in his match against Matt Hardy. So, You'll see some storyline direction here as we move forward, but 65 overall. Adam Cole trying to rally the troops to get everyone back to being elite in this super elite group. And as you would expect, Adam Cole does get the win against Matt Hardy, 9:47, 71. Pretty good match here. Not bad at all, really, when you look at it. I'm curious if we got anything. So Hardy's going to get, knocked for the declining physical ability, but really some good stuff here between these two. It's probably a little better than I expected because I don't really know what to expect from Matt, just based on that physical ability at this point in his career and all that. But Cole gets the win, and this was, again, really just to further the idea that Adam Cole is on a roll right now, and he is trying to sort of bring, trying to bring the faction back up due to some of the other guys kind of taking some bumps in the road here with the Bucks losing. And Cole basically saying here that the Young Bucks couldn't beat the Hardys, Double or Nothing, but yet he could beat Matt Hardy. We'll see how that plays moving forward between this group. So 71 here, good stuff. And then backstage before our main events, remember this is our number one contenders match essentially in our tag team eliminator series. It has come down to Team Taz against the Lucha Brothers. Those matches played out last week on Rampage. Now we know it's official. This was our main event. Team Taz versus the Lucha Bros. And Taz says that pretty much you're looking at the next tag team champions. He says that Starks and Hobbs are going to go out. They're going to beat the Lucha Brothers. Then they're going to go on to Road Rager to beat Jurassic Express. for the tag team titles. So Taz sort of calling his shot here, and that's going to lead us to the match between Team Taz and the Lucha Brothers. So if you haven't watched my other series, sometimes I like to add in some things before you get the official match result. That's what's going to happen here with this one. So we go straight into it. As immediately the Lucha Brothers come out, they make their entrance, and they are attacked from behind by Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. No interest from these two. They just come out and attack them from behind, and they just start beating down Penta and Phoenix. And so we just got pretty much a brawl between these four guys on the outside. The match hasn't even started yet, so he gets a 50 here. But as this brawl continues, then we hear the crowd start to look, and, you know, they make the usual noises when they see someone coming out. And it's because they see two men making their way out as this brawl is going on, and that is Andrade, El Idolo, and Rush, who come out, and they have now decided to come out and isolate Penta. They get Penta. They pretty much beat him down. Meanwhile, that allows Team Taz to focus on Rey Fenix. Remember, the match has not started yet, so this is all happening before the bell has even rang. This is all going on the outside, and so that allows Starks and Hobbs to really take out Phoenix, while Andrade and Rouge taking out Penta. Gets a 52 here. We're not really worried about the ratings. We're building towards something here, obviously. But that leads us into the official match. And in the official match, it is Team Taz, Ricky Starks, and Powerhouse Hobbs in a great match here, 78. Wow, this is surprising to me that this outdrew Danielson and Fish. But a 78, that's fantastic. They get the win with Hobbs pinning Phoenix with the underhanded tactics. Of course, we know what that was. That was Andrade and Rush interfering before the match even starts. So we pretty much played up the fact here that, again, the beatdown on Penta, that pretty much took him out, and that allowed these two to essentially make this a 2-on-1 match, and it was too much for Phoenix to overcome. And so it is Team Taz earning the win and finding their way to Road Rager here in a week and a half, basically, to take on Jurassic Express for the Tag Team Championships. So what will be the fallouts for the Lucha Bros after the attack from Andrade and Rush? We will find out that as well. But great stuff here. I mean, really, this was, I didn't know what to expect here. I thought maybe 60s, high 60s, but a 78, fantastic. We will take that in our main event here on Dynamite. But we're not finished, because after everything, everything's cleared, here comes CM Punk, who said earlier that he was going to come out and call out the man he thought attacked him last week. Punk says he doesn't know. The lights went out. He saw nothing. All he felt was a hard shot to the head. And then when the lights came back on, he saw the blood running down his eyes, down his face. He saw the blood running down his championship belt. And Punk says, you know what? I was fine with seeing that, because that, made it clear to me that I'm going to have to do what it takes now to protect this championship, and I'm going to protect it against you, Malachi Black. So Punk calls out Malachi Black. This is who he thinks is the top suspect, the person who attacked him last week. Punk points out, who is the person who every time they come out, the lights go out, they come back on. He says, it's you, Malachi Black. You're not fooling anyone. You've always said the reason you came to AEW is because you wanted to be at the top. You weren't being at the top at the place where you worked previously. So you want your shot? Come on out, and you can get your shot man to man. And so Punk calling out Malachi Black here, and here comes Malachi Black, 90 overall. Fantastic. Malachi makes his way out. He's alone, and he gets face-to-face with Punk, and he says, listen here, CM Punk. If I attacked you, you would know it. And then Black, usual, a man of many words, I think, in reality, but he's going to be a man of few words in our series here. He says, again, he's pointing out that if I attacked you, you would know it. And he reminds him that doesn't mean, though, that I can't attack you right now. And then as Punk gets a little bit closer, these two are getting closer. Punk's not buying it. He still thinks Malachi Black's the one that attacked him. And Black says, remember, CM Punk, the house always wins. And then what happens? The lights go out again. They come back on, and it is Brody King and Buddy Matthews. The House of Black has united here, and they go after CM Punk. We get underwhelming stuff here from these two, but I kind of expected that, to be honest with you, because, again, they're not on the level ratings-wise that a Malachi Black or a CM Punk is, obviously. I mean, so we sort of expected this, knowing this was not going to get a 100 or anything, but this is playing into the story we're building here. Lights go out. House of Black has attacked Punk. They are just going at him, and what do you know? Here comes FTR to make the save. Crowd goes nuts. They're coming in to make the save. We got a full-on brawl here. A brouhaha is on our hands with these 6 guys going at it. And there you go. That's how we go off the air. Tony Schiavone, we're out of time. And we go off the air with these 6 just hauling off on each other. So the stage is set seemingly for something. We just don't know exactly what, because what we do know is that CM Punk has accused Malachi Black of attacking him last week on Dynamite. Black denies that he did. Did he? Did he not? We will see moving forward. But 65 ends the show here. Again, I'm not shocked at that. I kind of expected that just in terms of the people we had to add. And look at this. Wow, an 82 for this show. Oh, my goodness. This was way higher than I would have expected. But we had a lot of great stuff on this show. Again, an 82. I am just floored that did this well. But our matches delivered. I mean, really, Danielson and Fish, 77. Our main event had a 78. We had some good stuff here. I mean, the Black Punk segment really delivered with a 90. So thrilled at how this played out here on this particular episode of Dynamite. But again, we are going to kind of hold off here for now with this episode of Dynamite. I'm not going to hit finish show because, remember, I finally, thanks to someone had commented in the comments about, I just did not look at this whole how do you tape Dynamite and Rampage on the same day and not tape Rampage first, because that's how it was kind of set up. But I finally figured out how to change it using the descending order thing. So we tape Dynamite first. We're going to tape Rampage next. That's on Wednesday too. So we're gonna stop it here for now. But on the next episode, as I said, we will get Rampage and we will get a bit of a deep dive into what I'm going to do with the situation with the roster. So breaking it down kind of developmental-wise, those kind of things. We're going to look at that on the next episode. So that's what you can have on this one. And then after that, the next one, we will get back to our usual programming by doing Dynamite and Rampage on the same episode. So appreciate you guys as always. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Dynamite. Again, a lot of great feedback thus far. You guys are great. Keep letting me know what you think about this AEW series. You give me a lot of great ideas to work with, especially on the developmental situation and all that. So we'll look at that in the next episode. On the next episode of this series, it will indeed be our Rampage for Week 2 and a look at what we're going to do with this huge roster in AEW. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. Check out the WWE 2021 series. We got some big stuff on the way there. We're almost to the Mae Young Classic, which will be must-see episodes of this channel. Probably two of the most must-see episodes I've done, period, on our channel thus far. The Mae Young Classic. So you want to check that out. But again, appreciate you guys as always for watching. And on the next episode of our AEW 2022 series, it will be Rampage for Week 2 and a look at our huge roster.